Hey guys, it's the Supreme Swordsman here, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite fights in anime. Now, I will say two things before I start this. One, everything on this list is my opinion, and two, I have not seen every single series out there, and there might be something that would be in this list, but it's not on there just because I have not seen that yet. So I will be remaking this list every year or two, to show how it changed. But this is my first round of this list, and this is my top 10 favorite fights in anime. Once again, this is all my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and start with number 10. And this is actually from Fate Night Stay, and this is when Saber fought Galgamish in the end. And this is the final fight when there was only two people left in Fate Night Stay. And it was a really awesome fight. I just love Galgamish's ability, how he can have all those swords come out of, midair, and his Nova Phantasm was just really cool. And of course I love Saber, she's probably my favorite girl swordsman, and I just love swords, so I love fights with swords, and it was just an awesome fight, and I think it had a little bit of emotion into it, and I just really enjoyed that fight. And if you have not checked out Fate Stay Night, I definitely recommend checking it out. But that was my that was my number 10, and let's go ahead and go to number 9. Number 9 is actually Zoro versus Rumiya. I might have pronounced his name wrong. If you don't know who I'm talking about, it's the guy from the Thriller Bark arc who had Brooks' shadow when he fought Zoro. And he's also the one that gave Zoro his sword. And the reason why I like this fight so much is because it was a very sweet, short, and crisp fight, but it was just awesome. I like that fight because sometimes in One Piece, the fights get dragged out way too long, and it's just not as good as you want it to be, just because it gets dragged out way too long. But in this fight, it was short, sweet, simple, and just an awesome fight. And Zoro got an awesome sword out of it, and I just really enjoyed that fight. I enjoyed the final blow, and I enjoyed the honor that those two had as swordsmen. That's one of my favorite things about swordsmen fights, just the honor that they always bring into the fights. So I really enjoyed that fight. Number 8 is actually from Batum. This is Sakamoto versus Oda. And the reason why I like this fight so much is because, when you can have me like a fight so much where all they're doing is just throwing bombs at each other, it's just an awesome fight. There's so many cool fights with it, hand-to-hand combat, sword-to-sword combat. But that's the first time I've got into a fight like that, just bombs. And the way it ended was so cool with, I'm not going to say any spoilers, but what Sakamoto did, moving to the side. What happened right there. If you've seen the series, you know what I'm talking about when I said that. That was just awesome. I just really enjoyed, the whole fight, and just how cool they made it with just bombs, and that whole method of that series. Just the different bombs you can have, and the timers and all this other kind of bombs. And I just think that how cool the fights were with just bombs was really cool. And I think that, and especially because those two passed, the fight was more emotional because that they knew each other before they got on an island, and it was just really really cool. I really enjoyed that. And now, number 7 on my list is actually back from the original Naruto series, and this is Rock Lee versus Gaara. I loved this fight. Now I gotta say, Naruto being one of the first anime I watched was probably the thing that really got me into anime. And when I saw this fight, I was like, man, this is amazing. To this day of Naruto, it's still one of my favorite Naruto fights, and one of my favorite fights of all time if it made it on this top 10 list. It was just a really cool fight, full of action. You felt really sad for Lee, and you felt a hatred for Gaara, and it was just an awesome fight. That's why I know some people like to go when they watch Naruto, they like to go straight to Shippuden. That's why I definitely say do not do that, because fights like this, Rock Lee versus Gaara, it was just an awesome fight. I don't feel like I need to say too much about that, because if you've seen Naruto, you know how awesome that fight was. And this one more thing I want to say about this, just that awesome moment where Lee took off his weights, and it was just like a huge weight. I thought that was cool. I just loved that moment. I just loved that fight in general, and it was just an awesome fight. I just really enjoyed it. Number 6 on my list is actually back in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And this is just awesome. I love this fight. And this is actually Roy Mustang versus Envy. And this was not like a long fight. It was very one-sided. I mean, everyone knows that Roy Mustang just dogged that fight. But I just loved that fight because I felt the emotion in every snap Roy Mustang did. Every snap he did, just angry and just so mad about the death of his friend. And we found out that it was envy who did it. Just the rage in his eyes. If you've seen that fight, you can just see the hatred in his eyes when you saw him, just burning envy over and over and over again. And no matter where envy went, Roy Mustang was still there, just bow, bow. And it was just an amazing fight. Of all the anime fights I've seen, I've never seen so much emotion in a character like that. Like, he was just so mad, and I just really enjoyed it. And I liked how afterwards, Ed, Risa, and Scar helped calm him down a little bit. And, he came back to his normal Roy Mustang self. But that fight was awesome. And Envy got it. Envy got it. I mean, she, I don't even know what it is. But he got destroyed. I mean, it was just awesome. I really enjoyed that fight. And still today, I just love it. And I love going back to watch that fight. Just the look in Roy Mustang's eyes. And just the hatred he had. It was just an awesome fight. I really enjoyed it. Even though it was very one-sided. Now, number 5 on my list is actually Whitebeard versus Akiyunu. And Akiyunu versus Whitebeard, this happens during the big war in One Piece. And I just really enjoyed this fight because, I still think to this day that Whitebeard is a lot stronger than Akiyunu. One thing that I think where the fight went, where it was, one, Whitebeard was already hurt, and two, there was just too much stuff going around for them to really have to fight one-on-one, like the way, but what they did have was awesome. When Whitebeard threw his face on the ground and then used his quick food, it was just awesome. And, Akiyuna goes flying out of the battlefield, and it was just awesome. And Whitebeard is just a man. All the pain and suffering he went through, even though he was already sick going into that fight, he's just an amazing character, and he's just so strong. I just can't see how anyone can really hate on Whitebeard because he's just amazing. And Akiyuna was awesome too. I mean, Akiyuna really did some damage onto Whitebeard, and that's saying a lot because it's a Whitebeard. So Akiyunu versus Whitebeard, awesome fight. If you have not seen One Piece, definitely go watch that. But yeah, that was an awesome fight. Now, number 4 on my list. This is one probably everyone knows about, everyone talks about, and this is back in Dragon Ball Z. Goku versus Vegeta the second time when he had the Majin Buu thing with him. That was just an amazing fight. I'm not going to get too much into this because everyone's seen Dragon Ball Z. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. But that was just an awesome fight. A lot better than the first one to me. And you just really see, that hatred that Vegeta had in him still show out of that fight. And, it was the final fight that they really got to get. And I just really enjoyed it. I think any Dragon Ball Z fan would really appreciate this fight. And I'm not really going to say too much about it because it doesn't really need a lot to be said. It was just an awesome fight as it is. Now, number 3 on my list is actually from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood again. And this is Ed versus Father. I loved this fight for so many reasons. One, because of how strong Father was. Father was just amazingly strong. Like, I can't even, he was like a god, really. Like, he was just so strong. And to see the fact that someone just went out there and beat him like that, it was just crazy. I just really enjoyed it. It was just awesome, and I just, what I liked about it was mainly Ed. It was Ed's fight, but everyone else chipped in a little bit when they needed to, and everyone did their work. But it was just awesome seeing Ed fight Father and prevail, and I just really enjoyed it. And I can't see why anyone would really have any complaints about this fight. It was just an awesome fight. I really loved Father as a villain. He was a very good villain, and of course I loved Ed, and I just loved the whole turnout of that event. Not just the fight, but the scene of the fight and what happened after the fight. That whole scene was just very well done. Very well done. I really enjoyed it. If you have seen Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, then you know what I'm talking about. It was just a very good fight. Not gonna talk too much more about that. Now, number 2 is actually back to Naruto, and this is original Naruto again. Like I said, most of the good fights in Naruto, in my opinion, happens in the regular season. Although there is a lot of good ones to chip in. But this is Naruto versus Sasuke. This had to be in the list. It had to. I just love this fight. It had to be in the list. Just all the way throughout that fight, just the emotion in that fight, because Naruto really wanted to save Sasuke. He really wanted Sasuke to come back to the village. And you just see slowly that hatred grow in Sasuke. And, just the fight between him. And, just Naruto just saying, what happened? I thought we were friends. And Sasuke saying, we are friends. That's why I have to do this. And it was just, the whole fight and the ending with the Chidori versus the Rasengan going head to head. I enjoyed that whole entire fight, and it was at the most perfect place. I mean, the fighting place for that battle was amazing. I just really enjoyed that fight, and I just still to this day I go back and watch that fight every now and then, just because I enjoyed that fight so much, and I like the emotion that was inside of that fight. And it's Naruto. I mean, I'm a huge Naruto fan. I'm a huge Naruto fanboy. So seeing that was just awesome, and I really enjoyed that fight. Now, number one, my top favorite anime fight of what I've seen so far in anime is back again to Naruto, but this time Naruto Shippuden, and this is Itachi versus Sasuke. I had to pick this number one because I am such an Itachi fanboy. You have no idea. Itachi is my man. I love Itachi, and I loved seeing that fight. I loved seeing the emotion into it. I loved seeing Sasuke do that new Kiri move or Kirin move where it was just amazing. Seeing two elite Uchihas in battle. It was just amazing. Seeing the Susanoo and just all the great things that were put into that one impactful battle. I just enjoyed it. And then right after the battle, you learned something crazy. So, I mean, I can't complain about that fight at all. I just really love that fight. And this might just me being a fanboy, but, if it's me being a fanboy, it's me being a fanboy. I mean, I just love Naruto, and I love Itachi versus Sasuke. So I had to add this in this list. So, yeah, that's pretty much my top 10 list right there, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it a little bit. I know everyone has different opinions, and I know there's a lot of series I haven't watched yet. Like currently, I'm watching Yu Yu Hakusho. I haven't finished that yet, so I hadn't added any fights in there. But so far, there's been some pretty decent stuff in here. So I'm liking that, and I'm watching a whole bunch of other series. Not all of them being action, but I am getting some other series in. So I will eventually make this list again once I've seen more anime. But this is what I have so far for my top 10 favorite anime list. I really enjoyed all the fights in this list, and I just hope that you like them too. So let me know what your guys' favorite fights are, and also what anime should I watch that has good fights in it. Just let me know what you guys think. What should I do? Please comment, rate, subscribe to my video, and that's pretty much all I really have, guys. My top 10 list, and have a good day. Bye.